great warriors on the podium here. So a big round of applause to all of them and their contribution to this country and to the generations ahead that would learn from their experiences.
Jai Hind. I'm exceedingly happy today that J.J. Singh, he's not only told us about the book which is written, and he is deeply passionate about it. I remember when he was in Wellington, he wrote his first thesis on the India-China boundary issue about McMahon Line. And I've seen him personally. He's been my boss. I was Director MO1 dealing with the topic China, and he was the ADG MO Alpha. And he's so deeply passionate about it, to understand the depth of what the problem is, and also to come out with what the solution should be. In fact, today I'm very touched. Not that he's got the same intensity, but that intensity of looking at the problem has even further got strengthened. I was so fortunate with the JS Army, one Mr. Lali, Sikh gentleman, Durban person, General JJ and self as a colonel, we all three went to China. And I've been to China 8 times, and every time it was a great learning. And it was great learning to listen to him on his wealth of knowledge on the topic China. Let's be absolutely frank about it. Primary national security threat is China. And we got to be absolutely tops on this subject. Nobody will pardon you. The civilization will not pardon you if you ignore this important topic. And I feel so enthused today that he's come out with a beautiful book, McMahon Line, A Century of Discord. But century it has taken, but we not found a solution to that. That's the challenge which is there in front of us. Or, to be honest, I think it is responsibility of the entire leadership, entire nation, society, and each one of us that we raise our level of knowing what China is all about. When you look at the spelling of China, C-H-I-N-A, inside China, even in this word China, you got CH on one side and A on the other side. Inside kya hai? Ye malum nahi hai. Who will tell us? We'll have to do our research. And his lifelong research into the topic China is what our wealth is, what we need to appreciate. In fact, by ignoring a problem, the problem will not go away. By turning a blind eye or a closed mind to the topic, the problem will not go away. It will keep cropping up. We've seen it. It's cropping up since 1951. We ignored when they came to Tibet. We've been ignoring the aspect of it. Then in 62, we had to learn a hard lesson, and in 67, we had to give it back to them in Nathula. Thereafter, the perspective changed. 1971, and we are into different zone of strategic victory in the entire continent. But the problem never went away because we were trying to look at the border issue. The next generation will solve it. Why next generation? It has to be your generation. Then we switched on to line of actual control perspectives. And then we have had the scenes recently. We had Doklam, but the beauty of Doklam was we chose to stand. Then came 15 June 2020, Galwan. We decided not only to stand, but also have the gumption of giving the supreme sacrifice. What we call जो वो 20 बलवान थे गलवान के, उन्होंने एकदम इतिहास को चेंज कर दिया. Thousands of years of media warfare, psychological warfare of China, saying that PLA is this, PLA is that, and they're into the different zone. Everything was shattered to say that comparatively Indian soldier is better than PLA. It was proved. And the man Friday, he's witnessed it all out there. Not only 15th June, 29th of August, when we decided we need to have initiative, we need to have domination, they changed the entire platform of thinking. जो चेंज करना है वो सोच विचार और धारणा है. अपनी सेल्फ वर्थ क्या है? What are we? I've been to China 8 times, and every time I went to China, I compared the Chinese soldiers, their officers, to the men and the officers in my unit. I'm from Assam regiment. So I said, this gentleman looks like Lal Ring Thama of my Bravo company. And in my comparative analysis, my boy was far superior as a soldier to them. And then 70% of the army comes from a scenario where chocolate cream soldiers are created with single child. They have got no combat potential, I will say instead of potential, experience. Last time they got a kick in Vietnam. They got no combat experience thereafter. We gave them a bloody nose in Nathula. And what we've done in Galwan, we redefined the whole perspective. But more important is to change the thought and perspective of what we think about ourselves and what we think of China. We got to upgrade our intelligence. There is no doubt about this. But you know, this card of expansionism, the card of collusiveness with Pakistan, this can't go unchecked. I'm very happy. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लद्दाख में जाके इन दोनों बातों को बिल्कुल साफ साफ बोला, पूरा दुनिया को बोला कि ये एक्सपेंशनिज्म, ये कॉल्यूसिवनेस, ये टेररिज्म बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं है. And all this confidence will only come once you know the China. I learned my Chinese in 1973. I was distinction in Chinese. दिल में एक ललच थी, एक चाहत थी कि चाइनीज लैंग्वेज को सीखा जाए. उसके बाद में I was very fortunate. I was posted 1992 in the same area of McMahon Line. And then one thing has been eating through deep and deep to know more about China. And in fact, the entire world wants to know what China is all about. America has spent billions of rupees to know what China is. Japan. In fact, another window, Taiwan. I was fortunate, I went to the National Defense University for 2 months and tried to study from the window of Taiwan. But I'm so thankful to you, sir, that you written this book, and this is your second book. First book which Journal wrote was a soldier's journal. Deeply, he's a soldier's journal. And that book was too touching to me because 2 chapters. He commanded 79 Brigade, Corps Reserve Brigade in Baramulla, and he changed the profile of Baramulla counterterrorism there. I think it is important for us to know Chinese language, and I'm very proud of the fact we've got students from the Doon University sitting here. The foreign language department of the Doon University dealing with the China is very good. I think I was discussing with General Harinda. When I look at the entire Himalayas, when I look from Pamir North to the tri-junction with the Myanmar, I think we got to take the responsibility of the entire research on the topic of Himalayan region, including Tibet. And दिल में एक बहुत ख्वाहिश है, इच्छा है, तमन्ना है, आत्मिक स्तर के ऊपर में है कि एक हिमालयन यूनिवर्सिटी बनाया जाए जो उत्तराखंड के अंदर में हो, जो शिव जी का वास है, 4 धाम और ये जो इलाका है, जो शिव जी का घर है, वहां बनाई जाए. और हम जिम्मेवारी लें उत्तराखंड पूरे भारत के लिए, पूरी दुनिया के लिए, कि इसके ऊपर में पूरा रिसर्च, चाहे वो सिक्योरिटी के ऊपर में हो, चाहे वो जियोपॉलिटिक्स के ऊपर में हो, चाहे वो फ्लोरा फोना जो भी सब्जेक्ट हो, क्लाइमेट एक्सेट्रा, व्हाटएवर इट इज, वी विल टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ दिस टॉपिक. और मैं तो प्रभु से यही अरदास करता हूँ, यही अर्चना करता हूँ, प्रेयर करता हूँ, टू गिव मी अ पावर दैट we create a collective team to raise a Himalayan university which will deal with this topic in a big way. And I'm definite, when you speak around 12 o'clock, God hears you, you know. You'll definitely have a Himalayan university. There's no doubt in my mind about this subject, because Uttarakhand has got to take lead in this. Uttarakhand इसलिए क्योंकि we have a border with Tibet. हम लोग सैनिक बहुल्य प्रदेश है, सैनिक धाम है, हर एक घर से एक फौजी है. About 18% of Indian armed forces comes from Uttarakhand. Therefore, it is important. And in the exchange of LAC perception, only middle sector perceptions have been changed. And I was the director MO at that time. And I'm so fortunate that we have changed the LAC perception of the middle sector. That means Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. When we tried to do it for the eastern sector, the western sector, Eastern Ladakh, there was large number of differences. We saw each other's map. I saw it myself. But we didn't proceed to it because the differences were many. And because of that, we couldn't proceed to the eastern area where this McMahon line and other perspectives are there. I think it is a collective responsibility that we should not shy away from topic China. We should follow the leaders like General JJ, who has taken the initiative, वो बलबूता कि चाइना के टॉपिक में जिसके ऊपर में सबसे कम ज्ञान है, जिस प्रकार बताया जनरल साहब ने, फॉर्मर चीफ साहब ने जो बताया कि चाइना ने हमारी सब भाषाओं के ऊपर में बहुत गहरी रिसर्च की हुई है. जब आप उनसे बात करते हैं ना, उनके जो विद्वान हैं, वो हिंदी ऐसे बोलेंगे आपको लगेगा शायद हरिद्वार की हिंदी बोल रहे हैं. इतनी संस्कृत, मतलब उनका शब्दों का चयन और जिस प्रकार से बोलेंगे तो ऐसा लगता है कि न जाने कितनी उन्होंने अध्ययन किया है इसके ऊपर. In fact, I think it is responsibility of every Indian to know Chinese. और देखिए एक बात है, जिस देश में संस्कृत सीखी जा सकती है उसमें चाइनीज सीखना ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं है. But I think it is most important to know your threats, challenges. Therefore, I think we need to focus on learning more about Chinese. We got to discuss more about China, and we got to give a deep respect to authors who take on China as a subject, like what Journal has done today. I must, usually people think China is a little boring topic and a little tough topic. I must tell you a lighter side of it. When I was so fortunate, General JJ was the ADGMO. I was Director MO1, Colonel Saab with him. We had Mr. Lali, JS Army. So all three of us. And since he was my boss, so I was going along with him in Beijing. एकदम साथ में जुड़ के, yes sir, ऐसे करके. So we were staying in a hotel, in a 5-star hotel in Beijing. And so Mr. Lali, he went in the morning, he wanted to buy something. He went to the lobby of the hotel, and one Chinese lady said, young Chinese girl, she said, sir, can I ask you one question, sir? So Mr. Lali, he's a brilliant officer, an elderly person. He said, yes. She says, sir, where are other two Maharajas, sir? Then he also got into his mood of this thing. He says, they are sleeping. So, can I ask you one more question, sir? He said, yes. She says, how many wives each one of you have got? So he also jokingly said, 4 wives. But this is the perception. I must tell you another incident. I was leading the military delegation. We went to Shanghai. We went to Shanghai, Urumqi, and to Beijing. So when we're in the Shanghai, the State Museum which is in Shanghai, it's a very beautiful museum. And in the museum there was a scenario where there was a British judge sitting stoically, and there was an accused Chinese, a person who had violated the traffic, and next to him was a Sikh soldier. Because Britishers, when they went to Shanghai, they had taken the burly military police, Sikh people who were 6 feet plus. So British commander had told the military police people that whenever any local Chinese Shanghai person violates the traffic, they should just lift the Chinese like them and strike their head and drop them to deter them. And then, even today, the elder Shanghai people, they are scared about the turbaned military people. So I thought I must take a good photograph with this statue. It's a historical piece. So I stood there, and we as a North Indian, we got a adat ki the photo khichte, we become very serious, you know. And the person who was taking the photograph was removing the parallax with the camera. So I was absolutely like this. I thought अगर अब मैं move करूँगा तो parallax और photo अच्छी नहीं आएगी. So I was like this. One Chinese girl, she walked up. She thought I am also a statue. And from the side, she just did like this to me. I thought, इस वक्त में कौन ऐसा कर रहा है? मेरी photograph खराब हो जाएगी. So I just moved my neck only. When I moved my neck, she thought ये statue में जान आ गई है. And she yelled like this. It has been great learning Chinese, great learning Chinese people, but it is more important to know our own self-worth. I think what the 15 June Galwan has done, it has changed the entire chapter. It has brought entire India into one topic, China. The way people went on the streets and said, boycott Chinese product. The way all government approaches come is a total different scenario. We went and said that the Chinese applications would be banned. The world followed us. We told the world that how to stand against Chinese expansionism. 15 June did that. People are scared to take decisions against China. But what we did on 29th of August, it was 29th August? Yeah. General Harinder only talks like that, you know. He talks with his eye and intellect, you know. But more important for you is to realize the change, the transformation, the leadership. You know what has actually happened? We have learned to express our national will. National will backed up by the political will. Political will backed up by the people's will. That's the change. So to not talk about it, that MEA did this or MEA did that, I think may not be in the slot. My personal request on this topic. I think now challenge for us is preparedness, capabilities and capacities, preparedness and readiness. I was discussing and attempting to learn from General Harinder, what does this mean? These 4 words. But one thing is definite, that we got to collectively come up on this topic, understand the problem and find the solution. Now the mindsets have changed. In fact, when I retired, I gave few challenges to myself. First challenge was to learn Hindi. Second was to go to media. Third, to learn artificial intelligence. And fourth was to do seva. So when 15 June happened, 16 June I was on a Hindi TV channel. And I said, China ki ulti ginti shuru. Hindi में बोलने से बहुत मजा आता है. English में you'll never enjoy that emotion, you know. And what COVID has told us, what COVID has taught us, that resilience of India is the highest. Others crumbled. We didn't. We found solution of vaccination. So I would say that please understand your own self-worth. I've always believed in my life. I was in Kashmir Valley for 10 years as a brigade commander, as a BGS, as a GOC, as a corps commander. And my learning was 90% intelligence, 10% operation. So therefore, in the category of intelligence, we got to learn a lot about China. More than learning about China, we got to learn about their fraud, about their propaganda, about the media war, about the legal war, about the indirect war. Very large number of us get affected by what they say white paper. Actually, there's nothing white about that white paper. It is either grey or black. But you'll not be able to see that white, grey or black unless you know your own perception well. I felt so touched when General J.J. Singh said that my wife has also been to that place. So this fight against China is not only of, किसी अकेले का नहीं है. इसमें पूरा परिवार शामिल होना बहुत जरूरी है. And I can see Vivek, the way he is involved in the entire perspective today. This is what the beauty of our family system is. This is the beauty of our betiyan, our Matra Shakti which is there. Now after having given what I thought in my Atma on this topic, I'll now switch on to my script. But if my beti was standing here, she'll tell me, Papa बहुत बोल लिया, अभी खत्म कर रहा है सीधा. But I would like to say that जो जनरल J.J. सिंह साहब की जो किताब है, इसमें जो मैकमोहन माहौन रेखा की राजनीति, इतिहास, संरचना, स्थानीय इतिहास और क्षेत्र के भूगोल, जियोपॉलिटिक्स के बारे में जो जोर दिया गया है, इसमें बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, बहुत दिलचस्प बिंदु हैं जो उजागर हुए हैं. ये आपको तभी पता चलेगा जब आप इसको पढ़ेंगे, इसका अध्ययन करेंगे और इसका आज के जो स्ट्रैटेजिक परसेप्शन है, जो डिसीजन मेकिंग है, उस पर बहुत खास फर्क पड़ेगा. इस किताब में मुझे सबसे सुंदर बात लगी है ये जो 8 अपेंडिक्स दिए हैं. इनके अंदर में बहुत ही खूबसूरती से जो इम्पोर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं, चाहे वो 1814 का है, ये जो BPTA बॉर्डर पीस ट्रैंक्विलिटी एग्रीमेंट का है, CBM एंड मिलिट्री फील्ड हैं, इन सब के बारे में बहुत ही विस्तार से बताया गया है. और ये बहुत एक गहरी समझ इससे समझ आती है कि बॉर्डर इशू, डिस्प्यूट, क्वेश्चन अलग है और LAC अलग है. हमको दोनों में कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है. एक्चुअली मैं तो एक बात बहुत जोर से कहना चाहता हूँ कि हमको अपनी सेल्फ परसेप्शन को सुधारने की जरूरत है. हमने देखा कि जब गलवान हुआ तो सभी लोग जमीन, लैंड, टेरिटरी, इंटीग्रिटी, सोवरेनिटी जैसे बहुत पवित्र शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, लेकिन उनको ये नहीं मालूम कि ये जो बात है ये LAC के बारे में है. जब तक जो बात बॉर्डर की है उसमें एक्साइटेशन एकदम शामिल है. और मुझको 6 अगस्त 2020 में इतना मजा आया एज ए सोल्जर, एज ए सिटीजन. 5 अगस्त को पार्लियामेंट के अंदर में माननीय गृह मंत्री ने आर्टिकल 370 को स्क्रैप किया, एब्रोगेट किया और 6 अगस्त को कहा कि ये जो POK है ना, ये हमारा है, अवश्य लिया जाएगा. ये जो साइट सीन है ये हमारा है, अवश्य लिया जाएगा. We drew our red lines. 2015 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी जब चाइना गए थे तो उन्होंने कहा था कि लेट्स रिवाइव आवर LAC क्लैरिफिकेशन फॉर द मैनेजमेंट, फॉर द पीस एंड ट्रैंक्विलिटी. जो बॉर्डर इशू है उसके बारे में स्पेशल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव लेवल के ऊपर में डिस्कशन होती रही हैं. पहले ज़माने में बॉर्डर टॉक थी, JWG टॉक थी, फिर ये एग्रीमेंट आया. उसके बाद में हमने इसको किस प्रकार सॉल्व करेंगे, पॉलिटिकल दोनों देशों के बीच में होगा, इनफॉर्मल टॉक भी की वुहान में, महाबलीपुरम में जब चल रहा था, फिर कोविड आया, उसके बाद में जो गलवान आया, तो होल थिंग हैज गॉट इनटू कॉम्प्लिकेशन। लेकिन एक बात पक्की है, जो सोच और समझ भारत को, जो एक निडरता, जो सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस, जो नेशनल विल, पॉलिटिकल विल जो हमको मिली है, अभी इससे पीछे नहीं, आगे ही जाना। उसके लिए कैपेबिलिटी, कैपेसिटी, रेडीनेस, प्रिपेयरनेस। और सबसे अच्छी बात क्या है जो गलवान ने सिखाया है कि वी आर इंटीग्रेटेड, वी आर जॉइंट, वी आर वननेस। जो गुरु नानक देव जी ने अपने मूल मंत्र में एकम ओंकार, एकम जो कहा है, हम सब एक हैं एज ए भारतीय। आई थिंक दैट इज व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। मैकमोहन लाइन के बारे में बात करते हुए इस किताब में भारत चीन संबंधों के वर्तमान और भविष्य का आकलन किया गया है। वह शांति को बनाए रखने के लिए विभिन्न सीमा समझौतों को एक महत्वपूर्ण उपलब्धि के रूप में दिखाया गया है, और भारत को ये इस बात की इम्पोर्टेंस और चेतावनी भी दी गई है कि हमको अपने गार्ड को कम ना करें, अपनी क्षमताओं को लगातार आधुनिक बनाने के लिए, और संघर्ष की जो लागत है उसको निषेधात्मक स्तर तक बढ़ाने के लिए अधिक मजबूत प्रतिरोध का निर्माण करें। भारत और चीन सीमा विवाद को ध्यान में रखते हुए सैन्य शक्ति है, इसको प्रभावशाली और गतिशील किस प्रकार बनाया जाए, यह अत्यंत आवश्यक है। सेना को युवा शक्ति के जोश और जज्बे से युक्त बनाए रखना आवश्यक है। इस दिशा में जब हम बारीकी से देखते हैं तो अग्निवीर योजना एक नई आशा का संचार करती है, जो हमारी सेना को हमेशा युवा शक्ति के से संपन्न बनाती है। ये जो माउंटेन वॉरफेयर है, ये जो हाई एल्टीट्यूड है, इसमें अलग ही एक यूथफुल प्रोफाइल चाहिए। ये जो चैलेंजेस हैं, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, फ्यूचर वॉरफेयर, स्पेस, साइबर, मिसाइल, ड्रोन, यूएवी, इसके लिए एक टेक्निकल थ्रेशोल्ड पार करने की जरूरत है, जो मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि अग्निवीर जो योजना है ये हमको, हमारा जो टेक्निकल थ्रेशोल्ड है, इसको क्रॉस करने के लिए हमारी मदद करे। मेरे को बहुत खुशी है कि जिस प्रकार कई मिनिस्ट्रियों ने आगे बढ़कर अग्निवीर के युवाओं के लिए अपने जो रिजर्वेशन और कमिटमेंट के बारे में जाहिर किया है, ना केवल उन्होंने, लेकिन प्राइवेट सेक्टर भी सामने में आके जो उत्साहन दे रहे हैं अग्निवीर को, आई थिंक वो अपने आप में एक काबिलियत है। एक चीज पक्का है कि अभी देश सुरक्षा के मामले में एकजुट है। आई थिंक दैट इज व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। जनरल जे सिंह जी के द्वारा जो पुस्तक लिखी गई है, इससे भारतीय सेना शक्ति को युवा और जोश जज्बे से पूर्ण बनाने की और संकेत दिया है इसके अंदर में, और मैं आशा करता हूं कि इस योजना से देश स्ट्रैटेजिक लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने में सफल होगा। Today I felt very enthused because we touched a topic which we thought is very complex, but the way General J.J. Singh has made it so simple. He showed you the video clip. He showed his own passion in understanding the terrain, the basics. I think his message will go deep and far. Sir, on behalf of the entire family, entire Uttarakhand, entire Saina Parvat who has attended it, जो हमारे दून यूनिवर्सिटी और बाकी युवाओं जो आए हैं, उनकी तरफ से मैं आपको हार्दिक बधाई और थैंक्स बोलना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि ये जो आपका प्रयास है, ये हमको चाइना को अंडरस्टैंड करना, अपने आप को अंडरस्टैंड करना, और अपनी कैपेबिलिटी, कैपेसिटी, रेडीनेस और प्रिपेयर्डनेस को एकदम इख्तियार करने के लिए हमको मदद करेगा। ये हमारी बेटियां हैं जो हमारी शक्ति हैं। And daughters are the biggest gift of the Lord. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.